To the face of a champion.
We have a video coming for y'all. We got a little breakdown we doing of Steve Fox right here. So we're doing a Steve Fox breakdown of all his moves that are useful, his stances, his overall game plan. And then in the future, I plan on coming out with a video on each of his stances and his offense. I know a lot of people are coming into Tekken 8 because of the very cinematic story and presentation and from the hype of 7. So I wanted to give a little guide for Steve because he did get a little bit more complex than he has been in previous iterations of the game. But this should be a good entry point for anybody just coming into Tekken and picking up Steve for the first time. Just to give a little bit of history, Steve is a boxer character that was introduced back in Tekken 4. He has almost no kick options except for, you know, up forward 4 and maybe like a get up kick. He has no kick options. All of his kick options, as in 3 and 4 or X and circle if you're playing on PlayStation, typically lead to one of his 8 stances. And yes, I did say 8 stances. Steve is a very stance heavy character, but the way that I'm going to break it down, I'm going to make it extremely easy. I'm going to give you a bird's eye view and also plan on releasing a video for each stance that he has. So yes, he has no kick options, which theoretically would limit his range options as he's only limited to the range of his arm. However, in order to compensate that, he kicks the earth itself and does a lot of his most infamous stances. He has albatross, he has flicker, he has all that. We're gonna go into it. He can duck, he can weave. He has his new Lionheart stance here. Look at that. He has a little footwork, flashy step back, but unfortunately you can't crouch guard, but we'll get into that later. It's a controversial stance for sure, this new stance that he has, but I don't believe it's anything we have to fear. The game plan around Steve, as in the main game plan, the thing you want to be aiming for whenever you enter a match with this character, is counter hitting. He is a counter punch paragon is his epithet. So with that, Steve is equipped with a variety of moves and stances that can be delayed in order to open the opponent up for counter hit opportunities due to the deceptive speed and delayability that they have to each move. For example, we have like 2, or rather 2. You can just do it quick. You can do it much slower. Same thing with a couple of other strings that he has. Very delayable. Go back 1, down 2, 1. You can delay that a lot. You can delay while standing 1, 2. There's a lot of delayable moves that would leave your opponent to think that you're open for a counter hit. Throughout the video, I'm going to be referring to stances and moves with what are known as Tekken notation. And if you don't know what that means, that 1 represents left punch, 2 represents right punch, 3 represents left kick, and 4, the number 4 represents right stance. So I'll go over that again. So 1 represents his left punch, this right here. 2 represents right punch, this punch. Left kick is 3, and right kick is 4, which goes into right weave stance. Just wanted to give that preface for anybody that's entirely new to the series and has no idea what notations are. So I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Steve, like I mentioned earlier, has a total of 8 stances, which may seem intimidating at first, especially for a beginner. But like I said, the way we're going to break it down is to give a dedicated video for each. However, it will be essential to at least understand what these stances do. Alright, so first we have flicker stance, which is this back animation right here. This animation where Steve has his right hand up and his left hand sort of moving. This move or this stance is naturally safe. See, it'll auto block certain attacks for me. Alright, so yeah, this stance will auto block most highs and mids for you, and a lot of attacks will transition to this stance. So if I do 1, 2, 1, I'm gonna hold back and it'll go into flicker stance. I'll back 1, it'll go into flicker stance. The main thing you want to know is this is mainly used as an extender or a way to extend your combos, or it can be used to create space if you do it naturally, which is back 3+4 is the input. To do it manually, you can use it to gain space and gain access to some armor moves right there. Peekaboo stance is our next stance right here. This is mainly our aggressive stance. It's a naturally aggressive stance that allows us access to a variety of pressure tools. So we can actually get into this stance and we can begin to poke our opponents from a very low standing stance. Here we have Peekaboo down 1, which is +2, an annoying hit low that will interrupt your opponent. It's pretty much your aggressive stance that you're going to use to apply pressure, especially at the wall. Duck stance, which is this one. We have ducking stance, which Steve takes a step forward, kicking the earth and going forward. This is a stance that is forward moving and can also be used as an extender. You can use it to access a mid attack. You can use it to access his launch skyscraper. And it can also be extended into his next stance called ducking in, which is where you hold, if ducking is forward 3 or forward 4 as well, you can hold forward or hold forward in 3 in order to do an extra ducking in, which gives you a powered up versions of the moves that are in ducking stance. So I'll give an example. So if we have ducking 1, which is fox hunt, we do ducking in, now we have power fox hunt, which instead of just knocking the opponent and letting them fall back, we knock them to the ground and we can get a follow-up. Same thing for skyscraper. Instead of just doing a regular launch, we have an extended launch. Instead of doing Punisher, where it just knocks the opponent down, we get access to a full combo. Oh, all right. And that is ducking in stance. So it essentially gives variant versions to his ducking moves. You would use this theoretically to apply extra pressure and threaten your opponent with a pretty damaging follow-up and a reset situation. We have the one I just used. We have albatross spin, which is done by pressing 3+4. This stance is a forward moving spin stance that's mainly used as an extender for a combo, like so. Allows a follow-up in Albatross 2. With our new heat system, Albatross 2 now leads to a combo by holding forward on hit and doing the heat dash. Not our best damaging combo, but you see what I mean. We can use it as a launcher. Safe poke, it's only -3, which is surprising. I didn't think that was -3. I thought it was at least -8 or something. I must be tripping. Let me check that. Yeah, -3. It's only -3. So it's a pretty decent poke in order to close the distance. That can also be used as a range 3 launcher while in heat. Our next stance is going to be sway. Alright, we have his sway right here, which is done by pressing back 3 or back 4. This stance allows us options to crush an opponent's high attack, so if the opponent were punching. Set them to record and just punch. Start recording. Just do forward punch. Finish. Alright. So we got him on just punch. We can use it to dodge punches. And we can use it to dodge high attacks like that and offer a quick counter retaliation right there. That's 1. This is 2. You can do a move called Snake Charmer, which will give you a full launch. Very damaging if you can get it off. Can lead to 80 damage very casually. It's a very powerful launch if you get that read. Fortunately, if you miss, it is death. and also, I forgot to go over something with Sway too. Sway can also give you access to a position change grab. We can position change with Sway 2, and we can push them up against the wall and get guaranteed combos. Normally 1-1-2 is 3 hits, but if we push them up against the wall, we get a guaranteed, and if we push them up to the side of the wall, we get a guaranteed back 1-2, which can mix them up pretty badly. For his next stance, we have his weaves, and this is 2 stances. I'm gonna go over both of them at the same time. We have his left weave, which is a crouching left attack, really ducks over to the left. Then we have right weave, which does the same thing in the opposite direction. Out of both of these, the more evasive is the right weave. He just curls up a little bit more and is able to dodge more attacks with right weave. This attack used to have a counter hit launcher on it, which was right weave 1-2. But now they changed it, and now it just offers a way to extend over into his new Lionheart stance. The main reason you would be using left weave or right weave now is to extend off of a combo or do his combo ender, like so. So you would left weave 1-2, and that would take you into Lionheart, and then you would finish off with Lionheart 2. For the weaves, there's a strategy where we can weave to the right or left and press. For right weave, you would press 1, you would do right weave 1 and then forward to go into peekaboo, or you do left weave 2 and forward to go into peekaboo. These are very useful for combating your opponent in the corner, as it can trap them there. So you can cut them off if they try. If you have your opponent in the corner, right, or at the wall, I'm gonna take Steve over to the wall here, and he's trying to desperately get out by throwing out attacks, we can actually do a strategy I call bullying that I do online, where we just do a slew of peekaboo shoulder bumps and mix them up with our low attack. So we do right weave 1 forward, we do a few down ones out of peekaboo, and then when they try to retaliate, we weave over to another direction, hold forward, and then go peekaboo again, and then we keep tapping them low, and then we can mix that up with his grab that he has in peekaboo. So it's using 2 stances in one to provide a multifaceted offense at the wall. Pretty good, man. It'll annoy your opponent too. And for the last stance, we will go into his new stance added to Tekken 8 called Lionheart stance, which is this footwork stance here. Again, this stance has been a bit controversial for some veteran Steve players. New Steves obviously wouldn't know what this is really. But for a lot of veteran Steves, this has been a move of contention, as you cannot cancel it with traditional means. Like if I'm in flicker and I'm stuck in this position, I can hit down back and I can cancel it. So if I'm stuck, I can just down back and get right out of it. But with Lionheart, there's no such thing. There's no direction that will cancel this stance early until the animation is finished, which can set you up for some pretty harsh punishes, especially if your opponent's in rage. They can hit you with a rage art almost guaranteed while you're in the stance if you just stay in it. But I don't believe this is a stance to be feared like that. A lot of people are considering dropping Steve for this one stance, just because it leaves you there, but there are ways to get around it. Like if you are using, the main reason you use this stance is to either extend a combo or to make yourself safe by hitting his one option. You can make yourself safe. He has access to an unblockable. I'll show that option right here. He can actually, so the opponent is right now is set to block everything. This is the unique thing about Lionheart. So right now I'm in Lionheart, and I'll hit 1+2, and you saw that glass shatter animation, right? That means the opponent's guard was broken. And using the new frame advantage calculator we have at the bottom here in Tekken 8, we can actually see how negative the opponent is and how plus we are from it. So if you look and you pause it, you'll notice that at the bottom on frame advantage it says plus 12. So that means with that guard break, we gain access to a 12 frame window where the opponent cannot block what we do. And seeing as Steve does not have any mid 12 frame options, our best option is going to be a high that does the most damage. So we can do something like 112, which does 17 damage, or what you can do for the most damage is 2-2 guaranteed, which will do 19 damage. Or if you want to be cheeky, you can go into 2-1 and then either opt to go into flicker stance or go into peekaboo stance at a very favorable plus. So you can go into peekaboo at plus 13, which will pretty much give you access to almost anything in your peekaboo arsenal to begin applying pressure after that guard break. You can also go into flicker, which will put you in at plus 14, so you can begin sniping your opponent with flicker jabs and flicker delayed hits like this. Or you can potentially scout out for your opponent pressing a button and hit them with the flicker back two straight, which has armor on it and screws. Okay, so those are all the stances that Steve has. Again, I'll go over and review them. We have flicker, we have peekaboo, we have duck, we have ducking in, we have albatross spin, we have sway, we have left weave, we have right weave, and we have Lionheart. May seem complex, I know, because it's so many stances on a boxing character that does not use his legs, but like I said, we're gonna break it down nice and easy. We're gonna go over some of the key moves to his offense that you should be using in his neutral. I'll try to avoid using moves in his stances for now, just to keep it simple. We'll keep it in his neutral, regular, left standing orthodox stance, the stance we're in now. We'll go over some of the important moves. So one of the most important moves that Steve has is a jab string in 1-2-1. Right here, 1-2-1. One of Steve's most important jab strings for quite a few reasons. I'll go over them right here. It's one of the best counter hit jab strings in the game and is very essential to Steve's game plan. On counter hit, this combo does 31 damage. So if you interrupt an opponent with one of the fastest moves in the game, which is 10 frames, 10 attack startup frames, as you see in the bottom left hand corner, it starts up at one of the fastest times and is able to offer almost the same amount of damage that a grab does. That grab just did 35 damage, and this counter is 31 damage. So for 31 damage, they can eat that very fast. You are eating that within the span of about a second. That health will be gone from your opponent before your opponent realizes it, and they could potentially get hit with another one right after it and be dealt a total of 62 damage, which then is pretty much in the realm of eating a combo. The average combo is about 62 damage. So if you're just eating 2 sets of punches, you pretty much ate a combo. That's one reason. The second reason is that on block, this move jails. And for those that are new to Tekken and don't know the term of jailing, I'll show you through my opponent actually doing the move. Before, they used to separate his 1-2-1, and now they just have it as the whole British edge combo, because you can extend off of it on 2. That's another thing you can do. But you can extend and add that last hit, which is a mid in case your opponent ducks, and you can go into ducking out of it, which is a good option, you know, if you don't know what your opponent's gonna press. From the second that first jab hits and hits my block, I cannot duck the rest in order to punish Steve. If I crouch it initially, I can punish Steve, But it's the second those 3 jabs hit, I am now locked into place and thus jailed from crouching. So meaning they have to stand there and eat all 3 punches and wait for you to go into your stance position before they can retaliate. Counter hit, like I said, deals 31 damage, which is massive for the 1 second that it will happen, and then your opponent won't realize what just happened and then get dealt a lot of damage. And he can go into pretty much any stance. He can cancel it early. He can go into 1-2 and do ducking, 1-2-3 ducking, 1-2-3 sway, 1-2-3 flicker, 1-2-3 peekaboo. It's great. 1-2-3 sway, 1-2-3 weave. It's great. Very good move. Definitely want to be using that if you're playing Steve. Another option is back 1. One of our main stays of Steve ever since he was introduced is back 1. Back 1 is so integral to Steve's game plan as it provides a 13 frame, very fast way to get a counter hit on an opponent that is attacking. On block is -1 if you go straight into the flicker. If you don't cancel it with flicker, it's -14, which is pretty bad. You can need a pretty bad 14 frame Punisher. But if you go into flicker from it, it's only -1, making it safe. So it's a safe interrupting move that definitely deserves to be used a lot. On block, it's safe. On hit, well, let's see. On hit, it's +10. So you can gain access, though you can't get anything guaranteed if you go into flicker from it, since flicker jab is 12 frames. So it's not like you can get a guaranteed flicker 1 or anything, but it puts you in a good position in order to apply an offense and take your turn back from the opponent. It's good on hit. It's good on hit because it can press the advantage. It's good on block because it's safe. And on counter hit, it's great because we get a full combo. We get a full 60+ damage combo. There's definitely more combos that do more damage than that, but we get a full combo off of Steve's counter hit back 1, and it's 13 frames. It's extremely fast, and flicker can be down back canceled, so you're not stuck in it. And there's a variety of options that you can do to mix it up because your opponent will expect this. A high level opponent that will fight Steve will be very much used to you throwing out back 1. So a lot of times you'll see they'll duck it. After about yellow rank, maybe upper green ranks, they'll start ducking your back 1 and your 1-2-1 strategy. They'll start ducking your 1-2-1 and your back 1. Since both of those options are high. So in order to balance this, we have Steve's down forward 1. It's his quick access 13 frame mid, 13 frame being one of the fastest mids that you can have access to on an average character. It's a nice option for the opponents that are crouching our back 1 strategy. It can provide a +5 on hit, which allows us to continue offense pretty much uncontested once they get hit with it. So I can hit them with a down forward 1 and go into a low option. I can hit them with a down forward 1 and then go into a 1-2-1 if they try to take their turn back by trying to punch me or trying to do anything. Even if they do a jab, if they get hit with this, it won't trade. I'll just win out and get the counter hit every time because I'm plus. On block, it's great. It's only -2. Which means you're not going to eat a full punish. At most, your opponent gets a turn if they're on point. They can take their turn back. In addition to that, down forward 1 also has an extender high and down forward 1-2. You can use this as a 13 frame punish if you like. It's 25 damage. Pretty decent damage for a 13 frame punisher. Ideally, we'd be using back 1-2 as our 13 frame punisher, but this one will suffice. Down forward 1 is also used as an extender with its down forward 1-2-1 input. So we have down forward 1-2-1 that will cancel the uppercut he does after, or will cancel that straight, and it'll fake it out and it'll do a hook like that. Or without going into flicker, it's -2, but you can go into flicker after this exchange and make it actually neutral on block, which can be used as a trap for your flicker back too, which is like I said, it has armor, it screws, and it also breaks walls as well. It's pretty cheap. If you use that, they'll think it's their turn, and then you can hit them with a flicker back too and knock them out with a free 40 damage follow up. So it's pretty good for that too. So to summarize, down forward 1, it's your option whenever your opponents are ducking, your high counter hit hunting, and they crouch down, you can hit them with down forward 1 to keep them honest. You can keep them honest and keep them from ducking your awesome back. Down forward 2 is another move I want to get into. This move has seen a lot of changes since Tekken, since the last Tekken. In season 1, this move on counter hit used to lead to a full combo. In the latter seasons of Tekken 7, particularly season 3 and 4, it offered a high level combo called a Shiro combo, where you counter hit them and then you do like 2 hits of Gatling gun and then you do a while standing. I'll probably show it on screen. It offered you a high level combo out of it. Now it's and it used to track. Now it no longer tracks, but on a counter hit we no longer get a combo, but we get a guaranteed we don't get a full combo, but we get a guaranteed full Gatling gun out of it, as the move on counter hit is +8 now. So it's +8, but when we do ducking, it offers +17, and the machine gun happens to be 16 frames, as you can see there. So it says, where it says attack startup frame, that says 16, and when we get a counter hit with down forward 2 and ducking, it says 17. So mathematically speaking, we have a 1 or 2 frame buffer window for us to hit this move right here, since 16 is lower than 17. Quick math. This move it can also, like I said, go to ducking, it can go to sway, it can go to the weaves, but primarily you will be using it for ducking, as if it's on block, you can use it to you can use it to stay safe and close the distance from range 1 or 2. So from about right here, you can throw it out and get in your opponent's fray, where you're in the range of a back 1. You can get to range 0 and cancel the ducking, which is going to be very important when I go into the stance video. It's very important that we're canceling our ducking stances if we're not doing a move at them. We don't want to be ducking for free and then not doing an option. That's pretty negative and you can be punished. New to Tekken 8, we have a new move right here. This move is called, what is this move called? Bounty Hunter. That's the name of the move. Up back 2 is called Bounty Hunter. It's a tracking high move that's 17 frames, so I wouldn't use it at range 1, like right here where I'd hit back 1 or down forward 1 or something like that. I'd use it more like right here. It's a move where you can go into stance right there. You can use it, you can throw it out. It's +3 on block, goes into Lionheart, but you can also hold back and not transition to Lionheart. See, notice how I'm connecting, but I'm not going to Lionheart, but if I let it go, I'll go into Lionheart. So it's a good poke move to do from this distance, as Steve takes a pretty good step forward. See, this is the range of our back 1. That's the range of our up back 2. It takes a full step forward and tracks. I do believe it will be very useful to Steve's arsenal right now for opponents that are that are stepping your offense a lot, though Steve has pretty good natural tracking, which is another good thing about 1-2-1. It naturally tracks to each side if they're trying to sidestep you. This one tracks from a good distance, and he takes a pretty big step forward. And it can also be canceled by hitting 1. So if you hit up, back 2, and then quickly hit 1 before the animation is over, we'll get a move called Swindler, which is really good, as this is also a new addition to Steve's arsenal, and it's good for the reason I'll tell you now. Swindler offers a full combo on counter hit. So it'll offer a full crumple stun, giving you plus 63 for full combo as if you just hit with back 1. And in addition to that, it's a mid attack also, so it's like a mid hitting back 1. So if you need to mix up your offense and your opponent is pressing buttons in the middle of your strings, you can throw them off by hitting them with a Swindler attack and getting a full combo, throwing off their timing by just that microsecond. 70 damage, and that's not even optimal really. On block, it's only -8, so it's a safe way to close the distance and throw your opponent's timing off. It's pretty good. Try it out. Down back 3. Down back 3-2, I should say, or what we call the foot stomp. This is our quick access low right here, or this is our range 1 low that we would use in the middle of our offense, or when the opponent is getting up, or when they're at the wall. And this is a 16 frame low. I was about to say 17 punch that does 20 damage in total. I'm not even gonna say what it is on block, because if your opponent blocks the foot stomp and the punch, and you go into Lionheart, you're pretty much dead. But for the sake of it, let's go into it. If that gets blocked, you're -27. You're gonna die. So you definitely, that move is a gamble, but it's definitely one that's worth taking, as it's pretty quick. And now it goes into Lionheart. The move used to knock down, and pretty much all other iterations of Tekken, foot stomp and punch would knock your opponent down and to the left. However, in this iteration, it goes straight into Lionheart stance, which can offer a few options in follow-up. You can get a foot stomp and a punch, which would lead you to +7. So you can throw out Lionheart 1 as a quick check, and if it hits, it'll send you into heat. We can do Lionheart 2 if we think the opponent's gonna press a button. So if we do this and we think they're gonna throw out a mid, we can throw out Lionheart 1 and get a combo, or Lionheart 2, sorry, and get a combo. Or if we don't think they're gonna press a button, which they usually don't because they just got hit and they're trying to figure out what's going on, you can throw out the guard break, because they'll usually be blocking after that series. So we can throw that out, and you already know we get a 12 frame follow-up for free after doing that. So foot stomp is good, especially at the wall. It provides a +7 way to apply more pressure, as opposed to just knocking your opponent down in the previous games. Another low we have is down 1. This is a 16 frame high crushing low that Steve has access to, where he takes a crouch and he punches the opponent in the shin. This is very good move for opponents that are jab heavy and are feeding your moves out via jab. If your opponent is on offense and they're out jabbing you, for the most part, they're plus. If they were to hit you with one jab and you blocked it, and then they followed it up with another series of jabs, you would lose, because you would be -1 and they would win the trade-off. So in that case, if your opponent is doing a series of jabs, and I'll set that up right here, why not just show it? If your opponent's doing a series of jabs like this, we would do down 1 in anticipation so that we can crush it and stop it early. So we can get either a crouching dick jab, or crouching is what we call it a dick jab, but we call it crouching jab for all the YouTube kids out there. Yeah, we get a crouching jab, which will leave us at +6, which allows us to take back our turn, or we can do crouching or full crouch down forward 1 and go into peekaboo, which allow us to put pressure on the opponent from this low stance. I don't know how he low parried me from that. But yeah, down 1 is good for stopping your opponent's momentum, is really what this move is used for. Down 1 and stop an opponent's momentum. You can go into full crouch for peekaboo. You can sidestep and you can continue your offense. I've done that before, so I've done down 1. It is -2 on hit though, so be careful about throwing this out all the time, as your opponent is at advantage if they jab. So something I may advise is like just checking your opponent's temperature with it after you stop their momentum. If you stop their momentum and they're still trying to go, you can hit them with a raw rising if they decide to jab. You can sidestep it. You can do down 1 and then sidestep as an option. You can do down 1 and weave, or you can do down 1 and peekaboo. You do down 1 and just step back. Another good low is down 2-1. Down 2-1 is a great low. It does have an extender in down 2-1-2. That does have a counter hit property on it. It is delayable. This is one of the delayable strings I was referring to. You can do down 2-1 and then cancel it with ducking, or into ducking stance, or into sway stance, or any weave stance. Or you can do down 1 and then delay the 2 and go for a counter hit. Or you can just do, like I said, do down 1 and what we mainly do, what most Steves will do, is they'll do down 2-1 ducking, and then they'll cancel to apply more pressure and test your opponent. Quarter circle forward 1, rocket launcher. This has always been integral to Steve's wall 50-50. One of his main strategies is getting you to wall, as he can do something called the wall 50-50. So at the wall, we pretty much agreed that 21 frames in the community is how fast a human can react to something. I believe it's like it's 21 frames at that point. We have access to 2 moves that can put your opponent in a situation that they have to deal with, which we call a 50-50 in Tekken. So we can do a 16 frame foot stomp that is a low high, and now they have to guess what we're gonna do from there. Or they have to deal with this move, rocket launcher, quarter circle forward 1. It's a move that on block, this move is flicker cancelable, which you always want to do. You always want to cancel on the flicker, and that'll make it safe. You can cancel this move and make it -3 at the wall, but the reward for it is that the opponent will get wall splat, and you can do a full combo like this. So you'll get a wall splat, and you can just do full combo and pretty much go ham from there whenever you get a wall splat with rocket launchers. So you get a mix up between rocket launcher and your other lows, mainly foot stomp. You want to use that to wall splat your opponent, or to poke at your opponent and draw them closer to the wall, so that you can apply your 50-50. New feature they've added in Tekken 8 with the heat system is this move can now launch. I know, right? Crazy. We got one of his safest strings that can now launch from heat, if you're willing to spend all the bar. Our orbital. So we have our up forward 2 that crushes low attacks, so low attacks will not interfere with this move, and it leads to a full combo. This is 22 to 25 frames based on how close you are to your opponent. It is good to throw out in sort of like this range 3 scenario in case your opponent's trying to reach and they don't have a move that can reach you that far, or if they're trying to come in, we can hit them with this orbital and get full combo off of it. Offers pretty decent damage too. Whatever combo for that. Let me see. Let's come up with a quick combo. Yeah, non-optimal, 69 damage. So I'm pretty sure if I optimize that, it'd be like 74. You would use it for crushing lows or for incoming opponents that are pressing a lot of buttons. You can open yourself up for a launch opportunity naturally without a counter hit. It will launch without a counter hit. Sort of like a defensive offense move. So those are pretty much the key moves I wanted to go over with that are non-stance based. Those are pretty much what you need. We'll review them. Got 1-2-1 that can go into flicker or peekaboo or sway. Very good for that. We have our back one that is flicker cancelable and safe on block, and also opens the opponent up for a counter hit, plenty of counter hit damage and a full combo. Alright, we have down forward 2. As both of these moves are high, we need something to counter opponents that are crouching us. So we have down forward 1, our quickest 13 frame mid that is comboable. We can combo that with down forward 1-2. It can be faked into flicker, which can open the opponent up for another counter hit combo. We have down forward 2, which is a safe way to get in your opponent's face if they block, by canceling it with ducking in particular, or with the ducking stance, by holding down back when we duck in like that. So we do down forward, forward 3, and then we're holding down back to get in this crouching block animation in case your opponent blocks and immediately responds with an attack. So it's a safe range 2 poke that on counter hit can push your opponent closer to the wall and give you a guaranteed 42 damage, which is why the move is good. We have up back 2, which is a 17 frame long reaching move that tracks and leads into Lionheart stance. The Lionheart stance is not really advantageous to us from this stance, so we can cancel the stance with back by just blocking, but by doing the move and blocking, we can cancel the Lionheart stance. But by letting it rock, we will go into Lionheart stance, which will offer a combo if the move hits. So if up back 2 hits and we go into Lionheart and hit 1, it will combo. No full combo in heat, you just get some guaranteed damage. Yeah, like that. Also, it's cancelable into a fully launching counter hit mid called Swindler, which is a new addition into Tekken 8. Very good long move, as the initial up back 2 sends you so far forward. You can actually reach the opponents at, like, what is this? This is about range 2. We can hit the opponent at range 2 with a fake out mid that can give us a potential full combo and counter hit, and it is safe. We have down back 3, 2, which is our foot stomp. Very good mix up unseeable low that can offer a continuation on hit. It offers plenty of options to continue offense or to stay in your opponent's face, especially at the wall when mixed up with our next move, quarter circle forward 1, which offers a full wall splat, is safe when canceled into flicker. And that's pretty much the good things about it. And launches in heat mode. That's another thing about it. So it launches the opponent into the wall for a wall splat. It can be safe, and on heat, or in heat, gives us full combo by holding forward. Boom. Alright. Down 1, which is our quick access, high crushing, low poke. Taps the opponent's ankles, leaves you -2 on hit, so you either want to do it and interrupt with the sidestep, or use it to take your turn back with a full crouch down forward 1, which is another key move, is full crouch, down forward 1, leads you right into peekaboo at +2, which makes your next one only 13 frames. So unless your opponent hits you with a mid or has a low reaching high attack, they will have to take this essentially. They'll have to eat this. And that leads more into peekaboo stance related things, which I do want to go to in its own video. And we have down 2-1, which is also can continue into a counter hit launching down 2-1-2 that is delayable. So you can delay it and get a counter hit, or what you will do most of the time is cancel it with either ducking or sway or some type of weave. When we have up forward 2, our orbital attack that we went over, that offers full low crushing capabilities and gives us a counter hit, or gives us a full combo. So those are Steve's main options or main key factors. There's the honorable mention in like up forward 1 that lets us get in the opponent's face and crush lows as well. And there's a couple of moves I may have missed. I really want to get into his punishers before I end this video, and then we go into the future videos where we go more into in depth on his stances and then go into some combo routes that you may want to use. His 10 frame punisher, meaning the move you want to use when something is -10, is 1-1-2. 1-1-2 offers 27 damage naturally, and can also lead to any one of his sway stances. So we can go into duck, and we can go into sway. We can go into duck in order to continue offense like this. We can go into sway and go into like a position change grab at a plus, at a, you know, what is this? At +8. We can go into weave if we want to at the wall and offer a peekaboo based offense, and what have you. The sky's the limit. A 12 frame punisher, as we do not have a right kick for an 11 frame, is going to be 2-2. 2-2 is going to offer the most damage at 12 frames. As you can see on the attack starter frame, it starts up at 12. It's going to offer us 29 points of damage, which is good if you're trying to close the match out after a Lionheart 1+2 guard break. You can do like 1-2, do a guard break, and then do 2-2, and then that could potentially clutch out the game for you. Even though I just noticed after guard break, it does 19 damage. So naturally this move will do 29 points of damage. But after a guard break, the damage will actually be lowered and it will do 19. So if you're using it as a punish, it'll do 29. If you're doing it out of a guard break, it will do 10 less damage. Keep that in mind. Another option for 12 frame punisher, which is actually maybe a bit better, is going into 2-1 and then either 2-1 into flicker or 2-1 forward into peekaboo. Maybe better options. Though they do 3 less damage, they can offer you +14 and +13 respectively to either continue combos or to put you in a way better position. And this one can even offer you pretty much a damn near unblockable grab. Yeah, see, so notice how when we do 2-1 into flicker or 2-1 back, it gives us +14. And the animation to the flicker grab is 12 frames. So this actually gives us access when we hit 2-1 flicker into grab, or into this body flip grab, makes it uninterruptible. So we can get this punish and then get an uninterrupted full grab that does 40 damage. That's a total of 66 damage, which you can gamble for, and it's a pretty good gamble that you're gonna hit it at least the first or second time you do it. They may break it after that, but it will hit at least once. Our 13 frame punish is gonna be back 1-2. Takes a giant step forward. Since that up back 2 is the final hit of that, Unfortunately, we will not be able to cancel Lionheart like we would be if we were just doing up back 2 by itself and holding back. We have to go into this stance right here, so it will leave us at +7 in this stance. So at +7, you can go for a safe body blow to continue your offense there. That'll leave you at -9. So you're sort of giving up your turn if you do this at the wall or do this in neutral. 14 frame punish is going to be Sonic Fang. Gets safe in heat. Does not launch, but that's going to be 28 damage. 14 frame punish Sonic Fang. See, that says punish. So our 14 frame punish is our 15 frame punish, which is going to be shotgun combination or forward 1 + 2 2. It'll offer 42 points of damage as the initial hit is 15 frames. Now note, this is sort of where Steve starts to fall off on the sort of like bell curve that he has in his punishment. Normally at 15 frames, you would be looking towards a launch with other characters. Other characters begin their launches like Howlong's down forward 2, Leo's down forward 2, Paul's down forward 2. Most characters' hop kicks are 15 frames. So instead of us getting a full combo like other characters would, we're unfortunately gonna have to settle for a bit less with our forward 1 + 2 2 that got added in Tekken 7 shotgun combination. This does knock the opponent straight now, guaranteed every time. So you can use it to press an offense. You can continue with like Albatross down 2, or you can sort of go for like a jumping foot stop shenanigans. But this is what we're gonna have to settle with. We do not get a full launch, and we cannot carry them to the wall with the launch like a normal character with kicks would at this point. So this is where Steve starts to fall off as far as his punishment. He does have a -16 or an I-16 punisher in Rocket Launcher. So if you can block something like Jin's hop kick or his can kicks, you can hit them with Rocket Launcher and inch them closer to the wall. It does do less damage than our forward 1 + 2 2, but it serves sort of a different purpose as it can wall splat and potentially offer you more damage than just a shotgun combination would. So if we used it right here and it would combo, we would get a full combo. Then at I-22, which would be the punish if our opponent did some type of sweep. In this case, I'll get Brian to demonstrate this one. That loading time, beautiful. And then we'll block. Alright. So if we block that move, we notice that it's we're at +26. So what we do in this case is we would, instead of we can do full crouch down forward 2, but ideally we would block it and then do up forward 2 in order to capitalize on that punishment. This is our main punisher for snake edges, and that's it for our standing punishers. We're gonna go into our while standing punishers. Our -11 or our I-11 punisher is gonna be while standing 1-2 for damage, dealing 32, or it's gonna be while standing 1-1, dealing 19 frames of damage. But we can go into any stance from it. So with while standing 1-2, that's it. That's for the damage. While standing 1-1, we can continue an offense by canceling crouch and ducking in stance. We can sort of continue an offense here and put our opponent under more pressure and take our turn back. Our while standing 12 frame punish is going to be while standing 2-2, which is going to do 32 points of damage. This string is new. This move used to launch on counter hit in Tekken 7, no longer does, which is a very unfortunate nerf to our character and boxer Steve Fox. But we'll trudge on. They took it away. They took our wall standing counter hit in order for us to get this string, which in my opinion was not a very good trade, and I'll tell you why in particular. Just mainly how it works. As a Punisher, it's fine. It does 32 damage and it puts you at plus 11 in Lionheart stance, which pretty much makes almost every move or pretty much this move safe. This one is 16 frames. So if you hit it at that plus, it makes it safe to use, but you can still punish the move itself. But on block, it's mainly a problem because it's minus it's minus 6. It puts you in, which isn't bad. It's safe, but it puts you in Lionheart, which is not safe. So it's actually lying to you when it says minus 6. It's actually like minus 14 or something. Because you can't block in this stance and you get stuck in it. So because I can't cancel it, I'm just stuck unless I just weave immediately or I just do the immediate body blow. Only use this move during punishes or for extensions. That's it. Otherwise it'll get you killed. Minus 17 or 18, we have our full crouch down forward 2 Punisher. Offers full damage on launch. You can use this to counter snake edges or counter hatchet kick. Alright, let's see. Plus 13. So I would theoretically in this situation get while standing 2-2. Okay, so those are his Punishers right there. So pretty much what I wanted to go over in this first video: history of the character, his general game plan of counter hitting, his game plan, which is delaying certain hits as well as interrupting your opponent before they hit with deceptive speed in your hits and delayable combos like down to 1-2. Certain things you can slow up to throw off your opponent's timing. So in the next video, we're gonna give each stance its own video, except for maybe the weaves. I think the weaves and like maybe sway, I'll throw them in one video. But we're gonna give each stance the love it deserves. We're gonna comb it back. We're gonna go through everything in detail. I want you all to fully understand Steve and how he operates so that you can take these tools and go online and dominate with him. I want to teach everybody Steve. I love this character. This is a character I've been passionate about for a long time. And though I don't think this is the strongest iteration of Steve that we've had, this is definitely one of the top 3 to contend with. I mean, hardly anything's going to contend with Tekken 5 Steve. But Steve is definitely a contender to be reckoned with in Tekken. A wide variety of attacks and new additions that definitely keep him way more than viable. Stick with Final Boss and we going to take you to the dojo. So until next time everybody, thank you for watching and check out this video for our stance guide.
What? No fucking way!
Bing!
Alright.
Pow, right in the kisser.